Hello, everyone, and welcome to this extra episode of the Imperfect Athlete podcast. I was making this episode because I wanted to give my insight and my, opinion on the whole coronavirus situation. I think I have a bit of a different view on some of the things you might be seeing online regarding dealing with this situation. So, in this relatively short episode, I would like to just have a conversation about what I'm doing in order to help me deal with this ever-changing situations, but also maybe give a little bit of a different perspective on things that you might be seeing elsewhere. You might agree with me, you might not. I just hope that for some people, when they hear this, it can actually help them deal with this situation a little bit better than they were before. And I just want to say that everyone needs to deal with this in their own way, and that's why I'm trying to bring a slightly different voice maybe to the conversation without trying to flood everyone with too much of what you should be doing and could be doing, and etc. So first, let's talk a little bit about how I've been doing, what I've been dealing with, and how I'm trying to deal with this particular situation. And the biggest things that I've noticed is that I'm really up and down. I can be extremely motivated one moment, and then just an hour later, just lay on the couch and don't want to do anything. I think over the weekend, I binge watched probably a season and a half of the Netflix documentary Sunderland Till I Die, which I find extremely fascinating, especially with the lack of sports going on right now. Watching sports documentaries for me is definitely something that I really enjoy. But in those moments when I lay on the couch, I just don't want to do anything. And that often makes me feel, bad about myself, like I should be more productive and stuff like that. But in those moments, that's what I just need to do. On the other hand, when I'm really motivated, I can get things done and I can keep going. I've noticed that I've been able to focus on being a little bit more creative, making some more videos, podcasts, those kinds of things, like creating content and letting myself sort of explore that. But also, I've been pretty motivated in doing workouts, trying to stay on top of work and trying to get something out of this particular situation. But one of the things that I definitely struggle with is me and my partner, we try to build a routine and then stick to it. And routine, not necessarily we do something the same every day or whatever, but more as in we are trying to have a structure throughout the day, and I find that extremely difficult. For me, my life normally doesn't have that much structure. I tend to, some days I have a bunch of clients, I'm really busy. Other days I won't have any clients, and I'm working on other projects in terms of business or coaching. I find the weekend especially hard. I think it's one of the reasons why I end up just on the couch. I suddenly get into this situation where I guess the weekend is supposed to be 2 days off, but for me, the weekend normally always is the busiest part, 2 days of the week with coaching, with mental training, with everything that is going on. I'm often not home in the weekend. I'm traveling. And that just, I guess that makes it really hard to find a balance between relaxing and being productive during the weekend. I guess the reason why I wanted to show that is, and that's the main part that I wanted to discuss through this short podcast, is I think what we're seeing a lot right now online from other people. I get a bunch of messages with do this challenge, do that challenge, those kinds of things. Online, I can see professional athletes, celebrities, they post workouts, motivational speeches. There's a bunch of motivational quotes online. A lot of people are picking up new hobbies like baking or painting or coloring or something like that. There's plenty of funny posts online about everyone is into making the banana bread stage of quarantine right now. And I I understand that all those posts are meant really well, but it often makes me very unconfident, very often. And I'm, just as much involved as this as well. Obviously, my work revolves around, trying to be as productive as possible, trying to eke out every little bit of performance out of athletes and coaches. Um, and I've, made content about like what you can do during this period, how to stay productive, and that's all good, but the amount of it and the way it's presented makes me feel unconfident in the way that I feel like I'm way less productive than everyone else out there. Right? But we know that online, everyone is showing the best side of themselves. The people that we see online also struggle with things like, laying on the couch and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that those workouts, those challenges, stuff like that is not helping. I think it is. But for the people that are seeing those and they realize, wow, that actually is making me quite uncomfortable, unconfident, right? It feels like I'm failing at quarantine. Right now, when I look at my social media, the feeling I often get is that if you do not take this opportunity and use your time for mostly self improvement, you are failing at quarantine. And I don't agree with that. It is okay to not be productive right now. It is okay to have days where you feel like doing nothing because you're just inside all the time. It's okay to not do home workouts when you really don't feel like it. It's okay to not be making banana bread. There is a really good reason why we do things the way we would normally do them. It's often because they help us to be more productive, to stay more motivated. Right? Everyone knows that it's easier to do a workout when you go to the gym or to your local soccer field, or you go and play with friends or whatever, than to just be alone in your house and do a bunch of push-ups. Besides the fact that there might be a lot of people that don't like those kind of workouts. Right? Being motivated for sports is way easier than it is for exercise or for workouts for a lot of people. And we have to watch out that we don't get into a situation where we feel like you have to do certain things during this period. If you are struggling to be as productive as you are at your job right now, compared to when you normally go to the office, remember that going to the office is a routine, is a structure that is helping you set boundaries in terms of when the day starts, when the day is over. It is a environment in which there is no conflict inside your head on what you're supposed to be doing there. At work, you work. At home, you relax. And that distinction in your head makes a really big difference. Right? We know from research, for instance, that people who have trouble sleeping, right, the advice is don't do anything else in your bed but sleep. The reason for that is if your brain is going to associate a certain environment with several different purposes, it is hard for the brain to distinguish which purpose is demanded at that particular moment. So, if you're struggling to work from home, it might be because, well, at home you also relax. You also do chores. You also do errands. You also interact with your family. There's many different purposes of your home, and working was maybe never one of them, and now it suddenly is, and your brain is just a little confused. The same applies for workouts. Going to the gym or to a park or go, play sports wherever you play sports is a clear indication for your brain, this is what we're doing right now. You step into a gym and it's easier to motivate yourself to do the workout. Like we all know instinctively, oh man, I don't feel like working out, but if I just get myself to the gym, I'll get through it. It's the act of getting to the environment in which your brain knows what is going to happen that is the hardest part. Once you're in the gym, it's often, I wouldn't say easy, but it's a lot more doable to execute the workout. And there are many things in our life where the environment makes a big difference on the purpose. So to say that we should be able, or we're supposed to be able to just move all those different environments, combine them within our home, and then execute all the purposes that we had in different environments in our home is, to say the least, optimistic. It is not that easy. And the feeling you have of not being motivated is not just a lack of willpower. Motivation is more than just wanting it. There's a lot of factors involved, and the environment is definitely one of them. For instance, I am a terrible runner. I hate running. I don't like it. When I go running, motivation is gone within 5 minutes. I think it hurts my hips. I don't move very well. Whatever. But I can play 90 minutes of soccer. No problem. In that environment, the motivation to run is a lot easier for me than if I just go for a run. The point I'm trying to make is we see a lot of things right now that are supposed to help us out. And they do. The workouts you see online give you a workout to do at home with the equipment you have. The recipes and the baking things that you see online give you something to do with what's at home. The at-home challenges give you something competitive maybe to do, or to a way to stay connected with your friends and family. Those are all tools that can help you stay productive. But that doesn't mean that they are the ways that you get motivated to be productive. That motivation is determined in a lot of different things, and we'll have to accept the fact that it might not always work. So, if you have a day in which you just feel like sitting on the couch, if you have a day in which you don't feel like doing a workout, or you are not as productive at your job as you normally am, try and accept that that will happen. Your brain is not perfect. And to be honest, if we would be 100% productive in this particular situation, why would we ever change it? Leave everyone at home, less traffic, less pollution, less hassle for everyone. And we can just do it like that. But that's not how it works, unfortunately. So, I wanted to just give a little bit of a different perspective that I have on this whole situation, especially from the side that you see in mental training and athletics and stuff like that. If you feel unconfident by what you're seeing online, that's okay. I feel the same thing, and I'm part of that. But I need to go and accept that it isn't going to be perfect, that I will make mistakes, and that I need time to figure out how I'm going to get through this in the most productive way possible. And that's the key concept. Most productive. Not optimal, not perfect, most productive. Please let me know how you are dealing with this current situation. And if you have any questions or feel like you need some help being most productive rather than perfect production, go to jwkmentalperformance.com and send me a message. Together, we can figure out a best way through this situation.